Good morning, good morning, good morning. Look at us. May is over. I don't know if you know this, but it's done. it's 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 May 22nd, Thursday, March 22nd. So grateful to have you here. I'm here. I'm Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy Vet certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. Honored to serve, honored to be here, honored to have your morning time. Guten Morgen. Please know that this is your time too. So if you got questions, comments, concerns, you can throw them in the chat. I do have it. Hey, Grand Rising in the house, Derek. So good to see you. Wealthy Rising. That's the first time I've heard that. Wealthy Rising. I received that. I hope that there's an abundance of things that come through my day today. All right. So today, you guys asked that I bring more guests on, and I am working on it. Okay. This is the things that we do. So today we do have a guest, so we'll get into that. I see I already have questions this morning. So let's get to it. Derek, you asked, does the House budget go to the Senate now? That always happens, yes. So whether it's at the state or the federal level, the budget always goes from one chamber to another, at least in the way that our government operates. So yeah, there's some things happening within the House. I know y'all probably been paying attention to what's been going on. That'll go over into the Senate. And I right now I have some looking at to do, because I saw some things about silencers, about tax, a lot of tax policy in this coming budget at the federal level. I'm assuming you're asking at the federal level, because at the state level, all of our stuff, y'all can prepare July 1. Everything that we got to go in zones is going to be enacted on July 1st. You'll start seeing the news playing those things, talking about some, here are the laws that are going to go in effect on July 1. So that at the end of June, you'll start seeing that, and maybe we'll put something together. Oh, thank you on these nails. I don't know if you got to see the video. This is Jada Garrison. You can follow her on Instagram, Jaida Garrison, Garrison. She's an artist out in Hampton Roads, and shout out to Krishan. We're supporting the creative economy and small businesses here, and also art makes the world go round. Boom. Okay, so getting into what we're doing today, y'all. I am super excited because the goal here is to connect the dots, y'all. To people that are doing amazing work, and then to things that we may not even know that we might be interested in supporting. So this morning, we are going to be joined by someone doing some life-saving work. And I say that literally, life-saving work. Let's talk about our kids. So what your kids do. Well, if you got nieces, nephews, or you've been privy to seeing some little chitterloins do things, what they do, they jump, they tumble, they take risks. And all of these things are a part of work. But what happens when part of growing up, but what happened when something like that or something turns serious for them, whether by their own fault or not. So today we're going to talk a little bit about, let me silence this phone, about pediatric brain injuries. They are more common than many people probably even realize, more common than I even realized until I met our next guest. And their impact can be extremely lasting. It can be emotional, it can be physical, it could be academically, and that's where the organization Brain Power comes in. This organization is on a mission led by Miss Jamie Peet, on a mission to prevent brain injuries in children and detect them early when they do happen. So they do smart, accessible education, which is how I learned about them. Actually, I learned about them through her tireless advocacy. They're empowering families, educators, community members, and health professionals with the tools to recognize, sign, respond effectively, and to make environments just overall safer for kids. So this work, it's not about treatment, it's about prevention and awareness, and making sure that no child is left behind, because because y'all damage isn't sometimes visible. So from the sports field to the classrooms, I can say that as my son had a concussion, I'm still like got my eye on this boy all the time, because when it comes to our kids' brains, early action is helpful and essential. So let me go ahead and bring Miss Jamie Pete, and shout out to Krishan. If y'all just saw her jump in, I was just talking about my nails, get nailed. Krishan just joined. So hey girl, we were just talking about your work on Instagram. Hey Jamie.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing all is well. So I'm so glad we finally connected this dots. I talked a little bit about what you do. Can you tell the folks like what actually inspired you to get into the world of pediatric brain injury advocacy?
Sure. So I've been a foster parent for 5 kids in the last 7 or 8 years, and started working in brain injury as a case manager for adults with brain injuries about 6 years ago. And the two kind of clicked to me, seeing the children in my foster care home going through academic challenges and things, and not all of them have brain injuries, but still they had academic needs, and just kind of mashing the two together, really thought about, well, what about when kids have brain injuries? How are they getting treated personally, like through their IEPs? Is there any kind of real work going into that? And just my love for children, I saw there wasn't really anything for children with brain injuries around here. And when you find a void, that's the time to fix it.
It sounds like you took this is what doers do. Did I lose you?
No.
Did I lose you? Hello, hello, hello?
No, I don't think so.
I think I lost you. I lost you for a second. You said, and find a way to fix it. It was me. I lost you on this end. Is that what you said? And find a way to fix it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So interesting enough, we've got people popping in the comments with some other organizations, which is really amazing because we're all about the collect box. She said, are you familiar with the Nadia Foundation? Letitia Council? Yep, see? Look, these are doers connected, just making sure. Nope, she got not Nadia, Nastasia or Nasia. I think I'm saying it right. Yes, grateful for that, doer, putting it in the chat, just making sure we're keeping dots connected. So what for people who might not know, what exactly is pediatric brain injury and how common is it actually?
It's actually very common, especially in children under 5 years old, but of course also through the teens because of bicycles. A lot of people also only think of traumatic brain injury, damage to your head, but also it can, all of them are considered acquired, but it can also be non-traumatic, and a lot of people don't think about that right away. But a big cause of brain injury for kids is viruses, infections. I've even had some kids that have had strokes at a young age, and so those things are also considered a brain injury, any kind of tumors, or if a child has surgery on their brain. So my organization supports both non-traumatic and traumatic.
I think that's an important point because I don't think I understood the difference between the two, right? Like, I don't think I separated the two. I feel like in my brain, I might've been putting those two things together. So when we talk about, you talked about the signs. So like, since we're separating traumatic brain injury from brain injury, what are some things folks that are around kids, can they be looking, and even educators, what exactly that should they be looking for, especially when kids don't always express what they're feeling?
Maybe if they are getting a lot of headaches, or if they're having trouble, if they've been in school already, if they're having trouble reading or concentrating. One way I think about it is to say a child gets a concussion, and they might not be in special education, but they come back to school and they fail a test. Well, if they normally don't fail a test, it's not fair for them to have to live with that after they've had a concussion. So any kind of changes in grades or behaviors, depression, things like that, things that a lot of times are not seen.
Yeah. Girl, you're just bringing me back to my kid. And now that he's in college, like because he's been concussed multiple times. I remember the first time that he did in playing rugby, and he became like super angry, super irritable. It was just, I mean, I thought I was like it was kind of not so much a different kid because he was in middle school, but it was like, what is the problem? What is happening here? And thank goodness we have a good pediatrician, because she was like, you need to have a conversation about accommodations for him because of his brain injury. Sometimes I don't think folks think about the steps that they could take to get some support. So how do like schools programs or sports programs typically respond to brain injuries? Is there anything in our world of just as the village you think that needs to change? Or maybe what's one thing you wish that the everyday person in the village, school nurse, teacher, coach, knew about helping kids with the brain injury?
I would really like just for more education for the educators about looking for signs. So like my son he was in foster care. We adopted him at age 11. Even he's had incidents because of his medication changes and things like that. So maybe really educating on the signs and really reporting changes and things in between IEP meetings if they have them, or keeping notes if you see a child acting differently, even if you don't know that they have a brain injury. Just really being more person-centered for things, because no disability is the same, and they are very different from each other, from developmental disabilities, things like that. So definitely being very person-centered and understanding and patient.
I think it's super easy sometimes though, Jamie, right? To have a kid be at school, they bump their head or do something like, and just think, oh, it's just, this kid's, they just, like it's super easy. Or pillow fighting and they hit the head, the nightstand, and then not really like, I don't know that at an early age we even take these things seriously enough, right, or even think that there's a such thing as a brain injury, like without going to the extreme. How do people, I'm just wondering like how people get past that. Like, I know you talked about education, but like, how do we get people understanding that like that it's a real thing, that even a small bump or could cause, especially in children?
Yeah, it's just a lot of speaking out. One thing I like to say is a child's brain is your future. And I think a lot of people don't think about, hey, this child has a brain injury. It could affect their personality and things. What are they going to do when they get older? And really be planning ahead of time from the time they get that brain injury. Especially for one of the things that I'm impressed with is Doers with their Department of Aging and Rehab Services. With their pre-employment transition services. So where you can start at age 14 and get skilled in a trade before you graduate high school. Those are the kinds of things that I really want people to work towards planning, because they deserve as good a future as anybody else. And making sure that you help set that up for them as parents and even teachers and things definitely will make a big difference, not only in the child's life, but other people around them and who they serve and who they work with.
Yeah. So Daniel said it's so fortunate that the impacts, no pun intended, of brain injuries are so unfortunate. I think unfortunate are more understood, that they're more understood nowadays. Yeah. He says that I understand more about myself based on my concussions as a preteen and a teenager. You even said that, like, going off later in life, like when a person, especially a little citizen, has this kind of injury, it doesn't just go away. It doesn't scab up. Like you cannot see it heal like you can see that scrape on the arm, and sometimes it doesn't ever fully heal.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Oh, definitely. The human brain actually doesn't finish developing until at least age 26. So up until that point, damage especially affects the way how the brain is developed. And it affects it even more. So from childhood up to mid-20s, that's a really crucial time for your brain to grow. And so it's definitely makes a really big difference. One of the things too to check out for with kids is their energy level. Some people may think, oh, this child, he's really tired in school. He's just not getting enough sleep at night. But when you have a brain injury, your brain has lots of wires going on inside your head. And if something is damaged, your brain has to work harder to reroute to go around that damage. To run all of your organs and everything. So it really affects your energy levels and things too.
Wow. Didn't even think of it that way. Didn't even think of that. But when you think about what brain power is doing, right? The work that you're into right now, what do you hope to see happen in the next maybe 5 years? And how do people engage with you? What are some of the things that you all have going on right now around the awareness piece and getting folks to understand?
A big part is I want people with brain injuries and children with brain injuries to understand you might be able to do more than you think, especially also the families to think that because many can end up being very sheltered. But one of my goals is to create programs for kids with brain injuries and be able to raise enough funds so that they're affordable for everybody, no matter income level. But one of the things I have coming up is called Fishing for Cognition.
Fishing for cognition.
So looking at different activities that can really help build somebody's brain. And I knew that a lot of people like to go fishing, and I come from the Eastern Shore, so it's big Waterman area. So I thought about all of the things that fishing can help with. People normally think of like do crossword puzzles and word searches, but learning how to tie knots or being able to know, hey, the fish is biting. I need to reel this fish in. Or I'm stuck. And people thinking I can't do this because I'm in a wheelchair or something else. I'm not good enough to do this. And so I'm going to have some volunteers there to help people from all abilities be able to go fishing, have fun with friends. And it's going to be at Elizabeth River Park on June 22nd. So there will be other people with brain injuries out there. We'll have games and stuff for people to just come out and meet other people with brain injuries, or just come out and even if you don't have one, to come out and meet people and see how you can help people with learning new skills.
If people come out, do they need to sign up?
No, they don't have to. I do have a sign up on my website, which is Brain Powers, BrainPWR.org. Because I have a limited number of fishing rods right now, but if people sign up, I'll be able to get more ahead of time. But people can just come. It's from 10 to 3. So people can just come off and on. We're going to have a table there set up, have raffles and giveaways, and people can come up to the table and ask to use a fishing rod.
Daniel said he loves that idea. And Daniel, it sounds like you have some personal experience. Some of y'all were athletes when y'all were kids or rough and tumble and may need, what I love, and I want to put this up again, what I love that Daniel said is that he understands a lot more about, I keep calling you by your last name because I'm so military, Brian Daniel. I'll beat it out of myself calling people by their first and last name. But he said, Brian says, I understand a lot more about myself based on my concussion as a preteen and a teenager. It is real. Like that is, I'm saying this from a parent's perspective, that I know that my son has brain injury. It's not traumatic brain injury, but it's real brain injury, concentrating, having extended conversations, light sensitivity, like taking to, like all of these things. And I wish Jamie, I wish you were around. I wish I were around, but I'm so grateful to have a really good shout out to Dr. Palmer at CHKD of like recognizing, like, here is how you help this is a lifelong journey with the being concussed, and here is how you help your kid. I was just going to ask this question, Daniel. You kind of got out ahead of me, and I'll say good morning. Good morning, Jessica, to folks that are saying good morning. I hope you are running your race, sister, running your race. And Grand Rise and Recare 757, maybe an opportunity to do some connection. But Brian was tracking where I'm tracking. He says, I recommend contacting Norfolk Anglers Club if you need more rods and things like that. Are there any groups that you hope to connect with? Like, is there any type, like when you look at the work that you're doing, because not only do you have, I was just making sure I had all the events, Fishing for Cognition, which I love. That's June 22nd. But you also have a coloring contest happening right now all the way up until June 2nd. And then you also have support groups that you do for families. And those are the first Wednesdays of the month. And then people can go to your Facebook page. But when you look at the work and the education that you want to spread, are there any groups that you're like, I really want to partner with people that are doing this? So we can ask the doers in the room. They might know somebody. See how they're already trying to connect you with people, because that's what doers do. Doers are like, let me expand your work. I appreciate you. So dream of working with folks. Who any sorts of things come to mind?
So in the at the holidays, you shared for me last year, my first one, it was called Helmets for the Holidays. And I donate a lot to holiday foster care programs for Christmas. And one thing that I realized when talking to friends of foster care was a lot of people donate bikes, but no helmets. So that's another initiative I'm working on this year. I also had the privilege of donating about 30 so helmets to 4 kids last year. Shout out to my friend Sharonda Woods. And then one group that I really had a privilege of meeting with is Special Olympics. Just this past week, when I was had a table at a special ed resource fair in Chesapeake. One of the girls there actually had suffered or experienced a traumatic brain injury as a kid, and she's a global ambassador. And I would love to do more work with them, because it falls along the lines of, I can do what I want to do despite my injury.
Yeah.
And so things like that are very inspiring.
As are you. I just think about as are you. There's this intersection between helping foster children and helping, children that, are parents, and the aunties and the uncles and cousins recognize like that they could be looking into the eyes of a young person, that a little citizen that has an injury that they can't see. So when I think about your intersection and things, how do everyday people, like, again, whether it's parents, aunties, or just neighbors, how do they support your mission, and how do they get involved if there is any way? Because you do fundraisers and things like that, but on top of that, or even that, how do they connect the dots to brain power?
So one of the things that I would love is for people to really spread the word about our support groups. I really want to be able to grow bigger with creating activities, maybe at least once a month, for children with brain injuries to connect with each other and do things like maybe going bowling or things like that, to have a peer group. So any ideas that people have about activities we could do, things that could be low cost for children because I don't want income to hold them back from being able to participate. Just really things that I can use to really get them involved and actually gather them together.
Yeah. So y'all got ideas. I see y'all throwing some stuff out there. I'm even thinking about So Unique. That's a woman who does like sewing classes. I'm thinking about like, what are some things to get, like you said, it's just getting processes down, moving, and things like that. So if y'all have met me, I have to say this out loud. If you have met me, and or you probably have met my son. My son has a brain injury. Okay. And he is 18 years old, and we are still, I just ordered a book off Amazon to help him start journaling, to figure out, pay attention, right? I think the bumps and the bruises, I know that we've said this several times, and I don't think we as villagers amongst our little citizens take those head bumps and things serious enough. I just don't think we do. Jamie, that's why you're here. Is like, also bike helmets. If you're ready to start donating those, also considering that. I'm going to give you the last words before I close out here, and I'm going to make sure there are no more questions. Oh, Elderberry VA said a scavenger hunt, maybe.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Scavenger hunt. Look at y'all. Any other ideas? Drop them in the chat. If you got some ideas of things, like she said, just to get active, and also to provide, to get folks convened and supporting one another. So what you got, Jamie? Last words for the work that you're doing. What would you want the folks to know?
Brain injury, it can be really, you can see when people are dealing with things, but you really never know what's going on in somebody's head. I call it an invisibility, because their ability is different and you can't see under the surface. But just be kind to people, because you don't know what background they're coming from, what they're dealing with, and just always lend a helping hand. Get your education. If you know somebody's struggling with something, refer them to us. And I can help out with trying to advocate for them and support them through any processes.
Yeah. You are the best of us. You are the best of us. And my hope is that whomever is coming across this video takes some time to go to Brain Power. That's Brain Power without the O and without the vowels in power. .org, or just connect with Jamie, right? Jamie, your information's on the page. Look towards, I just love saying vision for cognition. I don't know why I love saying that. It's so super cool. And just reach out. I think that's the goal, right? Is to connect as many dots as you possibly can. So Jamie, we are so grateful for having you today. And I hope that this is fruitful. Doers, please send your ideas, send your things over to Jamie. Jamie's doing the good hard work. Can y'all clap it up for Jamie? Yeah. Okay. Oh, no. Okay, so that has been the morning dew, y'all. Like, I actually got y'all on time today, getting to work like you're supposed to, Janie, I'll see you in a second. I'm gonna wrap up here. We Care 757 said we'll definitely volunteer. Yes, please connect the dots. I dropped her link to her page in there, and I think it's also like it. To your point, I love that. Oh, We Care 757. I should say this: you all have your museum trip coming up, right? So, like, I think there is some. Go to. I always say We Care 757. We care, because I am actually dyslexic, y'all. I think I said this out loud. I think I try to tell people I am dyslexic. I work very, very hard at not doing those things. But 757 We Care has some amazing things coming up. So if you are a villager that wants to support our little citizens, then there's so many opportunities, so many things to get into. We've got a very interesting week coming up. I may be having to cancel a morning do or two because I might be on a flight. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I put it out there. Just check my page and stuff. I'll say if we're not doing the morning do, or maybe I'll pre-record something and go ahead and get it up just to make sure you all have it. I'm trying to make sure schedules are gelling up. We are also looking for doers that want to help us. The unfortunate thing that I have is I am in an election year. I don't have any opponents, but I still like, because people are engaged in the process, I still like to meet people where they're at. So we're looking for doers that want to be a part of connecting with the community. We've got some really amazing events coming up called Hey Neighbor, where we have an event at Shoe Park, Northside Park. Summer school is coming up too, so be on the lookout for the dates and times of those. That stuff should be being posted, but we need you to engage. So if you're a doer that just wants to get out, I'm telling you, knocking doors is fun. Like, this is meeting people at their homes. It's one of the funnest things that on the job that I'd love to have you be a part of. So reach out to the office. Let us know, and we'll see how we can get you doing in the community, just like Jamie is. And I love the applause that y'all have given her. Thank you, Beth, for all of that. Yes, 757 week here. That's June 15th. You can hit their website up too if you want to support them. Until next time. I'm Jackie Glass, Mama, Navy vet, certified doer, and the laced up legislator for the House of Delegates, 93rd District. So honored to be here with you, doers, because doers get more done. Don't sue me, Home Depot. All right. Take care, y'all. Be kind to yourself.